Fire Emblem Awakening has been announced for North America. There's no release date, but we might as well be happy that the game's coming anyway, right? Sadly, I must answer no to that question. Before I go on, let me clarify one thing. Fire Emblem is, and will probably forever be, one of my favorite franchises of all time. My disappointment isn't so much the announcement itself, but rather how the game was announced and the overall neglect the series has had from the very beginning. I believe most people know that until Super Smash Bros. Melee, Fire Emblem was virtually unknown in the West. When the first game finally came over to the West, it became the best-selling in the series at the time, with over 970,000 copies. But when that game was announced, do you even remember seeing this commercial?
The drums of war are beating. No man can be trusted. What happened to Dorcas? I put poison in his mutton.
Build an army. Trust nobody. Fire Emblem. Only on Game Boy Advance. Rated everyone.
I sure don't remember that commercial, and I remember a lot of the Nintendo commercials back then, especially the Who Are You series. Now, let me ask that question to myself. Who am I? And who am I to criticize a company that chooses when they release games and when they announce them, especially considering that they're the ones who make the games? Should I just be happy that the games are announced and just go along with everybody else's opinion, or should I state my own? Regardless of whether you agree or not, I'm going to be blunt and honest about my opinion and how they have treated this franchise over the years. Hello there, I'm Kaz, an avid fan of the Fire Emblem series who is neither confused, happy, or upset at this, but rather disappointed. To me, it seems that the Fire Emblem franchise, and to a lesser extent, other beloved Nintendo franchises are now being shoved to the side in order for them to try and recapture the casual Wii audience Nintendo had not too long ago with the Wii U. This is evident by Nintendo's plan for E3 2012. Having two press conferences, both seem short, uninformative, and disappointed consumers, investors, and hardcore fans. But I would argue that it's more disappointing to their fans to hear that there were no new announcements and the games that they were expecting to be announced were not, only to find out later that they would be announced, only this time without the same media coverage or PR that they had during their press conferences. E3 2012 may be a trade show, but most of the stockholders, impressed or not, I doubt will be buying the newest Nintendo system or titles to go along with it. They're more concerned with their investments in the company. Gamers will buy the games, investors will invest in the stocks. I know there's a lot more to it, but when you get down to it, that's the basic gist. If a LEGO Batman 2 demo is worth telling investors in your press conference, then why not one of the titles from one of your most cherished franchises of all time? Do they think it's simply not going to make enough money? That's simply not true, because Fire Emblem Kakutsei sold almost 250,000 in its first week alone, making it the fastest selling title in the series on a console that's barely 1 year old. That's impressive, but that's only Japan. The fact of the matter is that by announcing Fire Emblem's release in North America in such a sneaky and confusing way will not only hurt their sales overall for the game, but fans due to the fact that in the future, Fire Emblem Awakening might not sell as well as it could have, and we may end up having to wait a long time before another game in the series is released. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. That's all I have to say. Sorry for the huge rant, and until next time, game on, my friends.